Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, collectors of all ages and NFL fans, welcome to our Super Bowl preview show. I'm SingleIssue Steve, part of the Aussieverse crew, and we also have here my good friend, as I like to call him, International Correspondent, because he's not in my country, Matty. Morning, mate. How are you?
Good morning, brother. Good to be here.
Good to be here, eh? It's here, the big dance. You know, we've been waiting all year for this. There's a lot going on behind this game. I'll be honest with you, there's going to be a halftime show that I'm not interested in seeing, so it's going to be perfect time to go to the toilet and grab something to eat and drink. It's going to be, this is huge. And probably the biggest thing is this is a rematch that has been 11 years in the making. And for those of you who didn't watch the previous Super Bowl, when New England played against Seattle, just run the damn ball.
Oh, wasn't my goodness. Hard.
You have one of the greatest running backs who was in the peak of his time, peak of his career at the time, a couple of yards out, and they threw the bloody thing.
Yeah, that was crazy. Down by the goal. I mean, I could see if you're like 20 yards out, 30 yards out, but you're by the goal line. What's up, James?
Hey, James. Yeah, that was just crazy move. Hey, Goof. How are you,
hey,
mate?
That's my son. That's my son right there.
That's your son.
What's
morning,
up, buddy?
Always nice. Mine are on their way to work. So for those of you who don't know, here in Australia, it's just turned 7 a.m. So it's nice and early. Cool. All right. Let's have a chat about some interesting things that's going on with this game, mate. So
about the Eagles-Bengals Super Bowl, right? That's what we're doing? That's what we're here for today?
Eagles-Bengals 2027 Super Bowl preview show. Welcome, everyone. No, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Let's see what happens. Who knows? Who knows, mate? Did you know this is Josh McDaniels' 10th Super Bowl?
Wow. Oh, because of being an assistant for New England, right?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't think about that. That's nuts.
10th Super Bowl. Pretty amazing. I did a bit of research on the injuries and stuff, and I'm not sure what you found, mate. I only found we've got two players who might not be about 100% today, but they're actually pretty big influences on both defenses. And that's Robert Spillane, who was the leading tackler for New England for this season. And you've also got Manowari. His ankle's not 100% either. So he's a major important cog in that Seattle defense.
Yeah, that is. I wasn't aware that he was. I mean, I knew he messed up his ankle, but I didn't know it was still an issue, like ongoing.
Yeah, I think Spillane's might be. I think some sort of lower leg injury as well. But Manowari not at 100% could be interesting, because the other really cool thing I saw about this was that both these teams are prone to big plays.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Seattle's defense, their strength is their corner, is their secondary. So, but like I said, man, this is Super Bowl. This is, I mean, I know 100% who I think is going to win this game, but at the same point, this is it. Everybody's been from the dog days of summer over here doing in the training camps and stuff, all the way through fighting in and out of injuries, in and out of different games, different weather, different this. This is everything right now. So nobody's holding anything back at this point.
Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. And just talking about the defenses for both sides, just while we're touching on that, is that Christian Gonzalez is obviously the number 1 ranked cornerback for New England at the moment. And did you know he's only allowed a 12.8% completion percentage this year?
Wow. No, I didn't know that. That's nuts.
That is absolutely staggering. So that's going to be another great matchup to watch. And also, too, having Witherspoon go up against Diggs as well. I mean, Diggs has been fantastic for New England. I know he's copped a lot of shit in pretty much any journey he's gone to, where he's just gone, done Stephon Diggs kind of things, but seems to have pulled his head in at New England. Has been an absolute rock and a great leader to help out Drake May as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Did you want to take a couple seconds and look at last week's games, at the championship games? Would you like to?
We should.
Is that okay?
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. So
yeah, no problem.
How did we go? I think we got 2 out of 2 last week, didn't we?
No, you got them both right. I got one wrong because I had picked the Rams over the Seahawks. I said I wanted the Seahawks to win, but I thought the Rams would win because they were more balanced. But guess what happened? we'll get to that in a second. That's our second game, but the special teams reared its ugly head once more for the Rams, like we talked about earlier. But so
Man.
yes, starting off with Patriots Broncos. The key for me was right in the middle of the game, right before the weather starts, before halftime, right before halftime. So like, well, let's actually back it up one more little bit there. Let's go back to there was 9:28 left. We have a New England. Denver has a 4th and 1 on New England's 14. They're only 14 yards away. It would have been a 31-yard field goal, and Denver goes for it. And with the situation they were in, they were already up 7-0. That first drive was really good, by the way. Stidham hits Mims for 54, and he hits the touchdown to Sutton. Really good start. They go up 7-0. And to be in the position they were in at only the 14-yard line, I understand why you would want to go for it, but you have a backup quarterback. You don't have your quarterback. So, they could have went up 10-0, probably, most likely. I know there was a lot of missed kicks in that game, but that's later when the weather was really bad. But Stidham gets pressured and throws it incomplete, and they get nothing off of that. To me, that was a huge play. Later on in the second, they have that lateral pass fumble by Stidham that's recovered by New England on the 12. That was so stupid.
That was bad.
Yeah, and May with the quarterback sneak. That puts them up 7-7. And then right 5 minutes and 32 seconds left, New England hits the field goal. I know later on there was a block field goal that New England had on Denver and things like that. And then the big first down by Drake May on 3rd and 6 where he sneaks it. But I'm going to tell you, I don't want to blow the whole stack at the beginning here, but I think the Seahawks are going to win. But I'm going to tell you, Drake May, because his sneaking ability, his quarterback sneaking ability, and we'll touch on it more when we get to the preview there, but that's a big thing. That's a big, it's bigger than you think. He didn't have good stats. He was 10 of 21, 86 yards. He was sacked 5 times once again, but he had 10 carries for 65 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that, mate, because one of the things I also read, and I know we're going to talk about it a little bit more when we actually focus on the Super Bowl, but just Drake May, what I write down? He's ranked 2nd in rushing success behind Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's nuts, right? I didn't know that either until I started looking through tape this week.
Yeah, his legs are a major asset. And let's be honest, he did not look that good last week. I keep forgetting, the guy's only 23 years of age. And one of the things I loved that I saw was the fact that he watched Carolina because he grew up a Panthers fan. He watched Carolina in the Super Bowl at the same stadium. I think it was like 10 years ago or 12 years ago. I can't remember what it was. And now he's playing in the same stadium for bloody New England in the Super Bowl. That's cool.
That's got to be like otherworldly. That's got to seem like it's like a dream or some weird scenario going on.
Dude, it's like a Disney movie.
It is.
Yeah, look, and I've got to be honest with you, as an Australian who watches a lot of NFL, we play our major sport here in Melbourne called AFL. If you've never checked out AFL, Australian Football League, guys, have a look at it. It's a freaking awesome game. You might be wondering what the hell's going on. There's no rules. There are rules. It just takes a little while to learn them, like it does for us learning NFL and gridiron and NCAA, because their rules are slightly different as well. We don't get snow. So to watch that snow falling and getting heavier and heavier and heavier during the game, just like, that's unbelievable. And seeing the guys out there with the snow blowers blowing the lines so the rest can see where the lines are.
Yep.
So it's like, I mean, there's a local team near me because I live at the bottom of sort of like a mountainous kind of region. And the local team near me, which is about 15 minutes drive, they had snow for one of their games a couple of years ago. And like in Australia, we're like, that doesn't happen. But watching it on screen is just, it blows our minds. It's very, very interesting. And it's kind of cool.
Oh, it definitely, I used to have season tickets to the Eagles. I've been to 78 NFL games because I had season tickets for years to the Eagles, and I haven't had them in quite a while now. But yeah, snow games are so much fun. For the players, it's a lot of fun, I think, too. But the only bad part about all that is like footing. And I think you saw some of that in this game too, with the Patriots and Broncos, especially once it started coming down. It was a mix of ice and snow, and you had people like I remember the one, I don't know what quarter or anything, but I remember Drake May dropped back and he basically just slipped to the ground. Like he literally slipped to the ground. So
yeah, it's interesting. And also too, just touching on games in Australia and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure if you've heard the announcement, but there is going to be an NFL game here in Melbourne next year. And it's going to be a divisional matchup. We're going to have the Rams against the 49ers.
Oh,
which
that's
will be
awesome.
huge. It's played at a stadium called the MCG, or the Melbourne Cricket Ground, which we also use for AFL, and the capacity is 100,000, and it'll be a sellout. It'll be a
That's
sellout.
awesome. Dude, that's gonna be
Mate,
amazing.
Melbourne people in the state we live in, Victoria, hilarious. You put a ball in an empty paddock, 50 people will turn up to watch it and see what's going on. We just love sport here. And they call it Melbourne the sporting capital of Australia. Our Sydney friends might not agree, but we have all major events. We have like the Australian Open is here for tennis. We have AFL Grand Final. We have the MotoGP at a place called Phillip Island, which is about an hour and a half drive from Melbourne CBD. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on here. But anyway, that's not talking about and plugging my beautiful country.
I was kind of shocked. Were you surprised that New England had this much trouble putting Denver away? Because I was.
Yeah, I was, mate.
I was.
Considering how good their defense is, and they're playing against their backup QB. Look, I'll be honest with you. When I finished watching the game, I'm like, I don't trust these guys.
Yeah. I
don't trust them. I don't. And there's some interesting stats around Drake May as well. We'll touch on that a little bit more as we go through. But I just, watch it. From what I saw with Seattle and what I saw with Denver, I'm like, I don't think Denver are going to be able to compete with Seattle.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, it's a Super Bowl.
I mean, listen, the best case scenario, and this is no hate to any Patriots fans, congratulations, you earned your way there. Nobody gave you anything. But I think if Bo Nix is healthy, we're looking at Seattle, Denver, and our pick is way harder.
Yep. Agreed, mate. Yeah. I don't know. I don't trust New England, but at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if those sneaky bastards somehow got up.
It's just their offensive line. We kind of talked about it early in the year with the Chargers and the Texans and Pittsburgh and teams like that. But I don't really trust New England's line, especially their tackles. Like their tackles out of the whole line in particular, their two tackles are, like I said, we'll touch on it in a little bit here, but their two tackles are scary to me.
Yeah, definitely. And Seattle, hang on, I'll just write something interesting, mate. Let me just double check where I write it. It's, sorry, mate, let's check out my notes here. Hang on.
No, you're good. You're good.
Put your coffee down, idiot, and then you can read what's going on. Where is it? It's something like, where did I put it? Sorry. Just sing to yourself while I'm looking at my stats.
Okay, I'll just mention to people watching that the Patriots Broncos game only had, I understand the weather from the mid third quarter on. I know it was, we had two good defenses against two struggling offenses, and then the weather took over. But only 387 yards of total offense with both teams combined. That's insane.
That's nuts for a championship game. That is just crazy. Here it is, mate. I found it. So it is. There are 5 players for Seattle that have had more than 40 pressures this year.
Oh,
40 pressures this year. So you can just tells you they'll come after you. But it's interesting as well that in regards to New England have blitzed on 40.6% of defensive snaps this year.
Wow.
Yeah, and they play mostly man coverage too, which is interesting.
And they've been sneaky. Their defense has been sneaky good all year. And the Broncos have been a great defense all year. So I shouldn't be surprised. I just thought with Nix out, I thought maybe New England could kind of push that score a little more. Like I mean, listen, the bottom line is you win. If you win by 1 point, like this next game coming up here today, you win. If you win by 1 point, you're champions. No one's going to sit there and say, "Oh, well, you only won by 1." You're still champions. So
yeah, that's right. If you're in front when the last siren goes, as we say here in Australia, then you've won the game. So, all right, let's have a look at some more key things, mate. So for me, 3 players I really, really want to watch. I mean, obviously you've got JSN and guys like that, but I'm thinking other players. So the first one I want to mention is Kenneth Walker. He did a great job last week, and people are like,
sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say, remember we were concerned because of Charbonnet being out, how he would take the bigger part of the load, but man, he did great. He was awesome.
Mate, he's really, really stepped up. Also, too, DeMarcus Lawrence is another one I wanted to watch. He started off a bit slow, but his second half of the year he was on fire.
Yeah.
He was on fire. He was everywhere. So he's going to be great to watch. And really, I think today a lot hinges on who we're going to see in regards to Drake May.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Just to touch one second on that Rams Seahawks game. I was just going to say a key part for me personally watching football for forever now was with 2 minutes left, Stafford hits Williams for that 10-yard touchdown. LA goes up 13-10. Okay, I would say 90 to 95% of the time, not just now, but years back since I've been watching. Started watching like 1996. So from then on, you're like 90, I would say easily 90% of the time. That's probably the last score of the half. And LA would go out in 13-10. Seattle comes out showing like zero fear whatsoever and has Darnold hits Smith and Jigba for a 42-yard pass. Then he hits him for another one for a 14-yard touchdown. That was like the part of the game for me personally that I knew like, this is you know what I mean? Because I knew Seattle's defense is good. To see their offense not only play great, but to have that kind of fearlessness and to play that way, that aggressive, and to go into halftime with the lead instead, that was huge for me. And then after that, like I said, LA falls off. The falling down muffed punt. I think I messaged you during the game. I'm like, I have never seen this in my life.
By the way, just going to plug it. Kicked by an Aussie. Good job, Dicko. Very proud when I saw that. I'm like, yeah, he's drop punted that right into the right spot.
That was so good, and that was so good. And then you have Seattle making a huge, having a fortunate thing go down there, or LA having a fortunate thing. Seattle stops them on a huge third down, and the defensive back Woolen, like an idiot, walks over to the LA bench and taunts them, and then proceeds, which I was smiling ear to ear. On the next play, he gets beat for a touchdown. On a 34-yard touchdown by Nakua. So, I mean, it was insane, man.
Yeah, in Australia, we call those people knobs. Like, you're an absolute knob. So he was a knob. But later on, he got it back, didn't he?
Oh yeah. I mean, listen,
I'm about turned around.
I don't think anyone questions Woolen's abilities. I mean, he's a great player. Just listen, I'll chalk it up. I don't know the guy. I don't know him on the field. I don't watch a lot of Seattle games, but the little bit I know, it kind of seemed a little out of character for him. I think he just got caught up in the moment. He knew how big the stop was, and then just acted like a moron. We've all been there, sadly. Maybe not to that level, and we don't usually have to face the consequences of it immediately like that.
Yeah,
but. Yeah. It was crazy. I couldn't believe how good Smith and Jigma was. I haven't seen a lot of him this year, only on highlights, ESPN, this and this. But he had 10 catches for 153 yards and a touchdown. And I mean, it wasn't just the stats. You can't really appreciate it by just looking at the numbers. The way anytime they needed a big play, it was either him or, like you said, Walker earlier, or Cup. Cup playing against his old team just came up big in a lot of spots.
Yep. Yeah, he played his role beautifully. And the other thing I like about JSN, mate, is that he's one of those receivers that will just fly downfield to block.
Oh, yeah.
He's not a prima donna or anything like that. He'll put a hat on somebody. He doesn't care. He just gets it done. So, and that's the kind of players that you want. And I think that's why Seattle are a really good all-round team, because they do everything to support each other. And they look like they're having fun. And the other thing, too, is Darnold just looked absolutely fearless and confident last week.
Yeah, he was locked in.
Yeah, 100%. And he's Seattle. This is interesting, just talking about Darnold and stuff. Well, we know when he had his meltdown last year, but this year Seattle has had no turnovers during the playoffs.
Wow, I did not see that stat anywhere, man. Good stat. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. And the other thing too, throughout the whole season, neither team has been blown out. Yeah. No team has, I wrote in here, it's 0 blowouts, and neither team has lost a game by more than 7 points.
Well, I mean, we're already there. We might as well go into the Super Bowl 60 preview. So you got the 16-3 Seattle Seahawks and the 17-3 New England Patriots. I mean, listen, if my team wasn't going to be in it, you couldn't ask for much. Like I can't ask for much more. It's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
and like you said, it's been the Cinderella story for the Patriots. I mean, I don't think anybody at the beginning of the year said, "Oh yeah, Patriots are going to the Super Bowl." Like very
No.
few people would have said that. So
no, in the AFC especially, you thought it would have run through KC or Buffalo, to be honest with you.
yeah, or even Baltimore.
Maybe
even
the Ravens.
Baltimore. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On paper, mate, it just looks like it's going to be a cracker matchup, and I just hope it's a really, really good game because that's what we want to watch.
Yeah, I hope so too. I have a weird feeling. So if I had to pick just off what I've looked at on tape and the numbers and my feel for what watching these teams in these games so far, I really kind of think Seattle's going to win by like 2 scores. Like I don't think it.
Yeah.
I hope it's closer than that. That would be cool. But I don't know, man. Seattle just looks nasty. Their defense I knew was going to be nasty. Never. I totally underestimated Sam Darnold because that offense looks like it is. He's not just Trent Dilfer. Remember, I had mentioned earlier for our the first one in the wild card. I thought, well, their defense. Yeah, their defense is so good. All he has to do is just not make the mistakes. And obviously, that's true for every quarterback. But I did not give him credit for how good, man. He looked really good in this game last week. So
he's got a swagger and a confidence about it, and for all the shit that the bloke's been through, when he got drafted at the Jets, and he's bounced around a few different places and stuff. I'm really happy for him, and I hope he has a lot of success. It's just, the Jets was not a good situation. No young QB wants to go to the Jets. Well, actually, let's be honest. Looking at things, no one wants to go to the Jets. It doesn't matter what position you play. Yeah, anyway, well, touching on that too, just quickly, guys, for those who are watching now and those who might watch later, Maddie and I are actually going to do some previews next year. I'm trying to talk him into doing every single team, so we expect another 31 of these kind of episodes, or 32. It's 32, isn't it? 32 teams. Yeah. So we'll talk and we'll do a little bit of coverage, and we might have a few guests on as well. When I say guests, friends of ours who know a little bit about their respective teams, and they can tell us a little bit more about stuff that we don't know about. So watch this space. Talking about defense and stuff as well, mate. Another little interesting stat that I've written down is that even though Seattle has a pretty good pressure rate, none of their players have got more than 7 sacks.
Wow.
So they haven't, one single player hasn't got more than 7 sacks. So does that tell you that they're not getting to the quarterback or not bringing him down? Or does it tell you that they're sharing the workload more?
Yeah, well, out of the games I've seen of theirs, I would think it's the latter. I would say it's just a little bit more spread around than some other teams would be. Their defense, obviously, we talked in the past. They're number 1 in points per game. Yep. They're also 8-1. Anytime they matched up with the team who was the number 1 or number 2 offense throughout the season, like how it fluctuates, they're 8-1. They're 8-1 against those teams. So that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I mean, including taking out the Rams just last week. So that's pretty impressive. Not that New England, New England's defense is sneaky good, by the way. New England's defense is fourth in scoring defense. And they haven't given up more than 16 points in the entire playoffs.
Yeah,
so that's
massive, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty good. The passing, especially the passing defense for New England as well. They've kept teams under 195 yards in 10 straight games, which is pretty impressive for any team, no matter who you are.
Yeah, spot on, mate. Also, too, at New England, just in regards to Drake May, and we're talking about, young fella. I don't think the moment's going to be too big for him. I think he'll be okay, but anyway, it's just the firepower and stuff at Seattle. I think they're just an all-round better team. Pressure to sack rate for Drake May when he's not under pressure is 25.9%, but when he's under pressure, that actually jumps up to 45.5%.
This was the weirdest thing I found as I was looking through the stuff this week. The weirdest thing I found, because my main thing in my head was I was going to bring up those 2 tackles for New England. I really, like I said, I don't think they're good. Campbell and Moses, they gave up sacks and pressures. The whole O-line has struggled all playoffs, but especially in those games. I mean, they've given up 5 sacks each playoff, five plus sacks each playoff game. And I'm trying to think who they played now. The Chargers, the Texans, and then the Broncos last week. They've given up so many sacks. But when you look at like you said, what he has done against pressure like that, I mean, The guy, I think I'm looking for my stat here. I think he's like undefeated. Hold on. Even though even though the O line has struggled, May is 7-0 in his last 7 games after being sacked 4 or more times. He's the first quarterback, by the way, to win 3 straight playoff games by taking 5 or more sacks in a game. I mean, that's not the way you want to live. If you're New England, it's not the way you want to live. But you have to. I have to give him credit, especially as a young guy, because whether you're young or old, none of these quarterbacks like getting hit around. So the fact that he could take that punishment and stay not just physically upright, but mentally keeping his mind straight and being able to get the ball down the field and do things like that. I mean, that's impressive, man. I don't care who you are or what team. So,
yeah. Do I dare say there's an element of Joe Burrow there?
Yeah, no doubt. No, hey, listen, that's a huge compliment to May, actually, because I know he was in the MVP race this year, but Burrow's done it more than one season. Burrow's been doing it. So, I mean, like I said, if I still think for you guys personally, if you didn't have the injuries that you had, that team was way better. 100% a playoff team, no doubt in my mind that they were a playoff team. So,
yeah, I'll just cry myself to sleep on my Bengals every night. What else have we got here, mate? That's really interesting. Sorry, just having a quick squeeze, mate. What else have we got here?
If you want to look at,
sorry, you go.
Okay, I was just going to say, if you want to look at the other side, New England's defense, like they're fourth in scoring, like we mentioned, and they haven't given up more than 16 points. That's all good stuff. On the downside, they're the 24th ranked defense against wide receivers, and they're about to play. They're about to play Smith and Digma. So, and Jigma, I mean, they gave up 17 touchdowns during the regular season and a quarterback rating of 98.8 against them, and then they're about to go against the Jigma Cup Shahid's not like a pure wide receiver, but the speed, man. Oh my goodness,
that
the speed
return, wow.
Yeah, and even Bobo, who caught 4 passes all season, and he had a touchdown in that game. So, yeah, I mean, this is and Darnold, by the way, he's also 5-0 after taking 3+ sacks this season. So both of these teams, if you're a New England fan and you're looking for a reason to believe, besides what we mentioned about good against pressure, Seattle, their only bad part of their defense all year has been against running quarterbacks. They're 29th in the league against running quarterbacks when quarterbacks sneak. Yeah, it's that low. And not only is it that low, 5 yards per carry. And now May just had 10 carries for 65 yards and a touchdown in the AFC Championship. So May also has 40+ rushing yards in 7 games this year, including the playoffs. So if I was, if you're a New England fan out there, and I know it doesn't look good, and it's not the way I'm picking, it doesn't sound it's the way Steve's picking it all either. So, but if you want something to hold on to, that's one thing that is a real thing. It's not just a stat. It's been, you've seen it happen in games. So, that's the one thing. As I'm picking Seattle, but that's the one thing I'm a little worried about watching throughout this game.
And Drake May's legs, mate. We all know, just watching what he can do. He, as you've talked about, he's just awesome. And I think he'll be pulling it down and running quite a bit with today's game. So that's going to be interesting to watch. The other interesting thing from a defensive perspective against Seattle is for EPA, they're actually 3rd when Sam Darnold is kept clean. Now, when he's under pressure, it actually drops to 28th.
Wow. Holy smokes. Yeah,
so and as we talked about before, that New England blitz on 40.6%. So their kind of style of defense might match up well pressure-wise against Sam Darnold. So that's going to be really interesting to watch.
What's crazy is we talked earlier about Walker, and I love him. Like if Walker wants to leave Seattle and come to Philadelphia, we'll take Saquon and Walker. That's fine with me. But no, like
great 1-2 punch.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But no, like New England's rush defense during the regular season was already great. They were holding running backs to 3.9, which was 6th in the league. And during the playoffs, 2.4 only, 2.4 yards per carry, 1st in the playoffs. New England's defense against the rush. That shocked me when I looked that up because, like I know New England's good. Like what's his name? Chason, which by the way, you can't get a better pass rushing name than Chason. But anyways, 3 sacks, 14 quarterback pressures, 2nd in the playoffs. So this is, man, it's a great matchup. Like I said, coming into this week, I thought it was going to be a Seattle blowout. I still think there's a potential for that to happen depending on turnovers. But I think this game is going to be a lot closer than I originally like. As I look through tape, as I look through stats, I think this is going to be a really, really good game. Like, I think this will be a really good game.
Look, I'm with you, mate. I thought it was going to potentially be a little bit of a blow. I didn't think they were going to get completely blown out of the water, but yeah, going back through the stats and performance of this year, and you're like, you know what? It's actually going to be closer. And there's one other stat I wanted to share with you as well, mate, is that with JSN, because we're talking before that New England run a lot of man coverage, JSN has the third most yards against man coverage in the league this year. He's got 428 yards against man coverage.
Wow. And that was my matchup to watch. If we were going to pick a matchup to watch this week, was going to be New England's cornerback, like you mentioned him earlier, Christian Gonzalez. He has an interception, like he's only allowing 39.0 quarterback rating against JSN, who had in the regular. Listen to JSN's regular season stats and tell me this isn't ridiculous. So we know this past week he had 12 targets, he caught 10 of them for 153 and a touchdown. Listen to his regular season stats from this past year: 119 receptions for 1,793 yards and 10 touchdowns. I mean, this guy, I don't know how, I must have been completely just focused on the Eagles that I didn't know this guy was this good. It is unbelievable how freaking good this. Yeah, it's insane.
That is exact word I was just about to use. That is nuts.
Yeah.
Wow. That's blown me away.
It is. Seattle has won 9 straight, by the way. 13 of the last 14. But listen to this number. This is even more impressive. 8-2 against teams that were either 500 or better. 8-2 against winning teams like that. New England's 4-2 against winning teams, and 9-0 away from home, which obviously they're officially the home team today, but they're not playing in Boston. So New England's also the first team to reach the Super Bowl after a 13-loss season. So if you're a fan out there, not a fan of these teams, and your team struggled really bad this year, last year New England had 4 wins, 13 losses. Yep. This year, 14 wins, 3 losses in the regular season. Right now, sitting at 17-3, they're in the Super Bowl. So I mean, it's.
You can see. I think Vrabel won Coach of the Year, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if he did, but if he didn't, he should. I mean, he took what he took, and it's not crapping on New England at all. But to take a young quarterback like that, I don't want to insult them by calling them a makeshift line, but I'm telling you, those the two tackles. Look for it in this game. You know, I'm not wishing anything bad on Drake May, but I'm telling you, the 2 tackles are horribly shaky for New England. So to go through all that and to, every team has injuries, of course, but to go through all that and still get to this point. Now, like I said, do I think that they would have gotten to this point if Bo Nix was healthy? No, I can't lie to you. I really don't. Denver might have beat Seattle. That's how good Denver was playing. But hey, this is how the league is. You know what I mean? The next man up. You have to play. And Stidham didn't play terrible in that game. He just made the 2 mistakes that he made. The 2 turnovers were just at horrible times and in horrible places on the field, including, like you said, with Gonzalez. That was like a stupid little throw up in the air rainbow pass. It looked like Gonzalez was taking a punt return. He was just standing there waiting for it to come down. But
yeah. But all being said and done, mate, I'm really glad Super Bowl's here. I'm going to miss football for a while, but I can't wait till free agency. I absolutely love free agency. I watch it really, really closely because all the movement and stuff of the players, and how does it affect your team, and who do you get into your team, and all that sort of stuff. It's just an absolutely fascinating time of the year. Question for you, mate: do you follow college?
I haven't in the last probably 5-6 years. I used to follow them really close. I like Michigan. I like the Wolverines, and of course. A couple years after I stopped watching them, they won the championship. So that was always good. So
I'll be honest with you. I watch a lot of college football when it's on, but I don't follow it. So I don't know. Guys, if you're watching this, help me pick a team. Maybe I've got to get into this bloody thing. All my friends say, you've got to watch college. You've got to watch college. So I will definitely get into it, but I have no idea who to follow. So
it's the off season. I'm glad you feel the same way as I do. The off season is so cool because teams, even though football is 100% like the greatest team sport, in my opinion, anyways, is the greatest team sport because you can have the best quarterback and running back, but if your O-line doesn't do its job, you're cooked. Or like on defense, if you don't get pressure, you can have the best secondary in the world. You don't get pressure on the quarterback, and he can just sit back there. He's going to pick you apart, no matter who it is. So, but this, when you go into an off season, and you have a chance to actually fix things about your team, whether it's coaching staff, whether it's players. During the season, it's very hard. Early in the season, it's a little easier because you can still trade. You can still pick guys up that are on the street. You can do all those kinds of things. Later in the season, you're really kind of handcuffed. You have what you have, and you just make the best of it. That's all you can do.
Yeah. It's a fascinating time. It really, really is. And it's one of the things I really love about the NFL is that whole off-season free agency period, because it's just, every morning I'm on going, oh, who's going where, what's going on? It's really cool. It's really cool. Unless you lose a really good player, and then you just go, shit.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. And it's like, I don't know. It's like, it seems like there's news it's really weird because there's the element of surprise too. Like the first day of free agency, there's a lot of big things happening, but even, then it trickles down, and all of a sudden you might just, you get home from work, you're about to grab a drink, and all of a sudden, you see something on your phone or on TV, and you're like, wow, we got that guy. Or like you said, it could be, oh no, we lost that guy. Like it could be either way. And it is a very exciting time, I think, I would hope most NFL fans feel the way we feel, because, it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah. As you said, it's like, wow, we got this guy. Or could be, oh, wow, we got this guy. It's interesting, but I guess we should let's go on record, mate, and just say who we think's going to win. I think we've kind of mentioned it, but let's lock it in. Seattle for me, and I think I'm going to say it's going to be 10 points.
Yeah, I think I would think right around there, 10 to 14 points. And I'm picking Seattle also. If I had to put a number on it, that's really tough. But if I had to put a number, oh man, that's really hard. Let's not do that.
Awesome. Well,
that's
folks,
scary.
Thank you for jumping on and watching our Super Bowl preview. We're going to let you go so you can start getting ready for the Super Bowl. It's great over here in Australia. It's going to be at 10:30 a.m. on a Monday morning. So yes, I've taken the day off, as I have done so for the last 35 years, to watch the Super Bowl. So actually, no, I've missed it once in the last 35 years because I had to work. So I love Super Bowl Monday. It's a great day. A few of my mates, we'll take the day off and we're just going to a local pub. So it's going to be really good. Have an amazing Super Bowl, mate. I hope you really, really enjoy it. One final thing before we sign off, two quick final things. Matt and I will be back this year, later this year. I keep forgetting it's 2026. We're going to be talking about teams. So for those of you who might be watching this, if you guys follow a particular team and you want to come on and talk about that when we're going to do it, Matt, I was thinking we'll do it in alphabetical order because it's just easy to remember that way. Yep. So alphabetical order. Come on, Steve English. We'll go through that and we'll talk. Obviously, when it comes to talking about the Eagles and the Bengals, it's probably going to be a longer episode because we know a bit about those teams. But have a great Super Bowl, guys. And Matt, if you haven't seen it already, I've got a challenge for you this year, mate. I want you to watch an AFL game and tell me what you think.
Okay, yeah, it sounds awesome. Yeah, I've never seen one.
Right. So jump on. You'll probably go, what the hell's going on? So my team is a team called the Western Bulldogs.
Okay, but you have to. Here's your challenge. You have to. Okay. You have to not get upset when you see across the bottom of ESPN the Cincinnati Bengals have signed Al Capone Vampire.
Deal. We could probably use him. Let's be honest.
He sucks.
Yeah. Can he play safety? Oh, he sucks. Well done, mate. Excellent. All right. Thanks for jumping on, everyone. Have a great Super Bowl. We hope that if you're a New England fan, that your team wins. If you're a Seattle fan, your team wins. But just enjoy it, guys.
Enjoy your day. Enjoy your day. We don't get a lot of, life is crazy sometimes. So enjoy your day, regardless of who you're rooting for. Surround yourself with some people that you care about and have a fun time.
Yeah, most definitely. Oh, hang on, Darker. Thanks, mate.
Hey,
appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
Yay! Someone gave us some money on one of my shows. That's great. Thanks, buddy. Have a great Super Bowl day. Oh, one last thing before we sign off. We just found out just this morning, my time, unfortunately, we've lost one of our community. So, Popper, present thoughts to you and your family too, mate.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Too young, taken too young. So, rest in peace, mate.
And if you're watching this and you're part of his family or his friends, you know how much he meant to so many, and just a very loved individual. And he never let anything hold him back from making his mark and letting his voice be heard. And he's, just reaching out to the family and any friends out there, anyone who's going through it as well. That he's very loved, and prayers are with you all.
Yeah, well said, mate. Rest in peace, Matty. Take care of yourselves, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Have a great Super Bowl.
Aussieverse for life.
Always. I nearly forgot.
Take care, brother.
You too, mate. Have fun.